My name's Andy. I work for a major university in Arizona. I'm a network engineer. Been there about 6 years. There's about 10 people in the networking team, and we support up to 30,000 students. We've been using ISE probably 5 or 6 years now, mainly to onboard students with the wireless authentication with our switches and network devices. The primary use case for ISE is wireless authentication. Probably the most important feature for us, for Cisco ISE, is visibility in terms of user connections, being able to see what devices are online for a particular user, which helps a lot for our troubleshooting. Another big benefit for us is definitely with security in terms of wireless user activity. We spend a lot of time looking at like live logs, user logs, to figure out where they've been in the network. And for us, like which buildings, we can get real granular with locations of where people are and where they're experiencing issues. I'd say the primary issue is slowness with the application, the web interface. We have multiple like admin nodes and app nodes. So when I need to get some information, about a particular user, the GUI would be 10, 15 seconds in loading, which, we need to know like right away. In terms of ISE for end-to-end security, it's basically our primary tool right now. So it's hard to compare with other applications or even hardware. There do seem like sometimes there are limitations with, for example, we use it for wireless only. We don't do anything with ISE or 802.1x on the wire, which is something we'd like to do, but we're kind of hesitant based on, our experiences with the wireless side in terms of like slowness sometimes. So yeah, I would say definitely in regards to time savings using ISE, I would say that building some of the policies around users, types of users, so library users versus student union folks or even admin users. The policies building is complicated, but after a while it's pretty straightforward in terms of repeatability, in terms of like sometimes staff turnover or things like that. It's not, the learning curve isn't as hard for continuous maintenance, I would say. In terms of evaluating other services, I'll be honest, that's one of the reasons for being at Cisco Live, is to actually know what opportunity, not opportunities, but what alternatives there are in that space. Again, because we are interested in maybe a faster performing solution at times. It doesn't seem like we have a licensing model that we're aware of in terms of, it's not something that comes down where, oh boy, we have to renew ISE again. So it doesn't seem like it's a significant part of the budget that we have for licensing and ongoing maintenance. In terms of ROI for Cisco ISE, I'm not even sure what we paid to begin with, but I know that it's indispensable since it is the main way, our only gateway for wireless users to connect. And the fact that it's flexible for us to spooling up new user groups fairly easily. Actually, our support for Cisco ISE has been pretty good. We've had pretty good luck with TAC cases, and it seems like maybe because it is kind of a niche thing, that there are certain, like that group of support staff, TAC staff, are pretty savvy. We've never really had a long-term issue that went long-term. It's because, again, it's our main gateway for students and staff and faculty. It seems like we've solved things pretty quickly. I'd probably say about an 8. The only thing that I would even say would be you don't necessarily get the same person every time or the same group, but we've never had an issue that went unsolved so far, so I'd say an 8. Overall, I would say our implementation is fine, but we do hesitate on major releases just because we've had some issues in the past, and rolling back is difficult, and we don't want to kind of go down that path, especially because it is so critical for us. In terms of scalability, I mean, we have multiple policy nodes. I know we have about 10 different devices at our appliances, and as far as I can imagine, spooling up another policy node or something would be pretty simple. It would just require hardware to be purchased. We're on-prem 100%. Scale of 1 to 10, I'd give Cisco ISE an 8, again, primarily because it seems like it's doing a pretty decent job managing our wireless connections, and there's enough tools in the GUI interface that give us feedback on performance. So yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty decent install so far for us.